he said it because of his wet blanket energy.
Unhinged. That's actually unhinged.
Hello and welcome to She's All Batch. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Jackie.
And we are recapping fantasy suites of Golden Bachelorette.
Ooh.
There was finally some drama.
Yeah, but they saved it for like the way end, which like by the time it got to the drama, I already was like, all right, this episode's boring and had like tuned out, honestly. Because up until that point, nothing happened. And it was just like, I don't need to see like lots of like nice dates of Chalk and Joan. And then a nice date with her and Guy. And it's like, okay, thank you.
I think they could be potentially setting Pascal up for Golden Bachelor. And I haven't thought that this entire time. And then after seeing tonight's episode, I was like, it's not like I pegged him from the beginning that he should be Golden Bachelor, but like given now his story and like him talking with Jesse at the end and like really going into how, I don't know, like he got his heart broken so badly a year ago. I'm like, wow. If it were anyone else, I would say dead set Golden Bachelor. The only reason why I'm like iffy is because I feel like they don't want to put like wild cards in.
Well, so many things to everything you just said. One,
sorry.
And like I understand that he was getting an edit where he's a more sympathetic character and we like now know more about his story. However, his whole thing, once again, it was kind of similar to the Mark thing, was he's not ready. He had his heart broken and he's not ready. So like what part of that is giving Golden Bachelor? And then I guess my second follow-up question is, you say wild card. Like how is he a wild card?
Because he was a personality
he's like
hire.
not a traditional archetype of a
that's
bachelor.
Literally it. Yeah, no, that's the only reason that you and I did not think he was gonna be past like top 6 because we thought he was just there for like comedic relief. And we found out like there's a lot more to Pascal. And I actually feel like I've liked getting to know this other side that I did kind of categorize him at first. And I'm like, wow, I shouldn't have done that. So good job, ABC. I think, he's a wild card just for that reason, that he's not like the traditional obvious choice of Mark. It's someone like a little more out of pocket.
Yeah, but I could see them kind of painting Pascal as like this, like suave, like he's done so well for himself, like rich man jets you off to like helicopters, Paris, blah, blah, blah. Like I feel like they could make him like a very desirable bachelor versus like Mark's great, but like what does he have to offer besides his glowing cuteness?
I'm sure that they both, first of all, they both have a lot to offer. And I totally agree. I do think they can package Pascal. Like, I mean, who wouldn't sign up? In terms of he's not ready, my only thing to that, and I think he was trying to tell Joan, but like had to tiptoe around her feelings. Like, he's not ready because she's not the one. And I feel like he needs to find the one, and he needs to like potentially be the Golden Bachelor so he can find the one.
I would love to know though what aspects of Joan made her not the one. I know it's sometimes not as tangible and it's just like it's just vibes at the end of the day, right? Like you either you connect with someone or you don't, and they can be perfect on paper, just not the perfect person for you. But I needed more from him, because then also too, it's like, Pascal, what have you been doing this whole time? This whole time, you just woke up today in Tahiti and remembered that you were in a relationship like a year ago, and then you're still heartbroken over it.
He said it last. He said it at Hometowns too, which you missed.
So he remembered last week that this was a thing.
Yeah.
But
we've heard about the ex.
Did the hometown like strike his like remembrance of the ex? Is that kind of how this all started? Okay,
I don't know, but we did hear about this ex during Hometowns, and he said that that's why he's like slower to open up, because he got really hurt. He definitely went more into it in this episode. Almost like, I'm like, don't hurt her too much. Like, I feel like when he's like, I was so in love and I got my heart broken. Like, this girl doesn't want to hear that, especially when you're saying it was a year ago. You're not saying like I dated someone 5 years ago.
Right.
Like,
no, it's clearly very recent, very fresh. And what do they say? It takes like half of the time of the relationship to fully get over it.
Apparently, that's what they say. Yeah, they do say that.
Whoever
they may be.
Yeah.
Well, you want to start at the top?
Sure. The tippy top, because I thought it was kind of funny that we open up this episode with Joan doing an Air Tahiti commercial, basically. And it's just her on the plane and no one else is there. And she's like, yeah, we took Air Tahiti. Thank you. Service is amazing. And it's like just her sitting on the plane. How much do you think either they paid for that, or was it part of like, okay, Joan can fly Air Tahiti first class for free if we promote
100%. The latter. Although, is Air Tahiti like a secret ABC partner? Because I don't want to like because we assumed that the Disney date was a partnership, but Disney is
Oh,
part
but
of
that
ABC.
legitimately is a partnership. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
I'm
meaning
just
that
saying,
like
like, I don't,
also in the ABC Disney conglomerate, it's
right.
also Air Tahiti is a
Yeah.
different subsection of the business. Yeah, maybe.
Can
Let
you
us know, guys.
fill me in? Did I
Mhm.
blink or did they explain why they're on a cruise ship?
They did not explain that.
No way. Are you sure? You may have blinked
Am I
too.
sure? No, but
Okay.
I did not get any explanation. Also, the thing that's confusing is it's like, right, they're in Tahiti. There seems to be like some sort of hotel something because for the fantasy suites, I think for guys' fantasy suite, they were in one of like the little like huts that are over the water.
Yeah. 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 They
So like
were.
that's a hotel, I think. But then also, why are they on a cruise? Yeah, there's no way to know, Stephanie. It's a
Yeah. Is it
mystery.
the same cruise that Gabby and Rachel went on?
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
Yeah.
It's all part of the conglomerate. They're
ABC
just like
conglomerate.
circling the same stuff.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
realized that I didn't know what was going on with the cruise at the very end of the episode when Pascal comes out and like you see them and they're on the pool deck. And I'm like, wait, I've been on plenty cruises before. You've
Mhm.
cruised before. I'm like, why are you here? And then I was like, oh, they probably explained it earlier and I just was
No,
asleep.
they didn't explain it, but I'm thinking maybe because like Tahiti's a bunch of different islands, it's easier for them to just be on the cruise ship and like bop around to different locations. I don't know. Also, the fact that they brought Nancy in to give Joan advice, which like, okay, great, love to see Nancy, love to see their friendship. But they flew her all the way to Tahiti when they were just in LA. Couldn't they have
Yeah.
just had Nancy come for the advice then? I just thought it was like, okay, big spenders, okay, budget, that they're
Yeah.
like, and you get a business class flight to Tahiti and you get a business class flight to Tahiti. And granted, I guess we don't know if Nancy did get the Air Tahiti experience that Joan got, but I just thought that was like, why did we need to fly her all the way here for a 5-minute conversation?
Maybe Nancy is also a part of the ABC conglomerate. Maybe it's like a partner.
Maybe.
Nancy, ABC, Disney,
Mhm,
Air
mhm,
Tahiti,
mhm.
you know? I was pretty excited to see Nancy on her own. And I will say, I think she's another one that I may have like put into a category and not really looked much into, just like Pascal. But I feel like Nancy has a lot to offer. And we
Mhm.
only ever see her with Susan and Kathy and
Yeah.
formerly April. So it was nice to kind of see her on her own, and I liked knowing that, like, they actually became friends in real life. This isn't some, like when ABC brings back, like, Friends and,
Mhm.
like, just because you were on the same season doesn't mean that you're actually friends, but they
Yeah.
seem like they're actually friends, and I think it looks like next week she's still there, which could just be footage from this episode also in next week, but in
Oh.
the trailer, I saw them hug, I think.
Well, I
So
hope she's still there. So fly her all the way to Tahiti for actually that 5-minute conversation and then be like, okay, you're going back now. Like, let her at least stay the week and be there for Joan if she gets engaged, if and when.
can I make a weird assumption? Would
Sure.
you agree that maybe Nancy wouldn't haggle for too much of a salary for this appearance? That maybe her Golden Bachelor counterparts may have requested more money because she's definitely getting an appearance fee for being on the show. We've
Mhm.
learned that
Yeah.
it's typically in like the $5,000 range, and then like obviously she doesn't pay for anything while she's there.
Yeah.
I wonder if like Nancy, because she's not as big of a name as Susan or Kathy, not like isn't deserving of more money, but like she may be okay with like accepting less because she gets to then go on the show and
Yeah,
get
definitely.
go on Air
Yeah.
Tahiti and like get a free trip. I don't know.
For sure. No, I think that's definitely true.
Yeah.
However, I agree. It was nice to see Nancy as not part of Askin because, like, I think the Askin moment has passed. No
I
offense
mean, it
at
has.
Askin.
It's
Yeah.
literally, it's not even asking anymore. So it definitely
It's
has passed.
skin
Guys date.
guy's date. I think to me it was just so obvious that she's like not that into guy.
Same.
Like the vibes were off and I've been good with the vibes, but
Right.
like
Vibe check.
yeah, I literally even wrote down at one point, okay, she hates this guy. LOL, LOL. Like it's just so night and day the way she talks about Chalk and Pascal, honestly, compared to how she talks about Guy. Like, and we thought Guy was so front runner material, but he's turning out to be floater.
He's not floater. He's not floater. He's not floater.
I don't know. If Pascal hadn't self-eliminated, do you think I would still be in the top 2?
No, but that doesn't mean he's
Okay.
a floater. I think you can make he's a strong third, but he's a strong third. I don't think
Mm.
he got there by, I think the definition of a floater, which we've
Okay.
created this word on the show, but it is someone that like floats to the top by default and or accident. And he very much was supposed to be there. It's not Jeremy on Jen's season. It's not Jordan
Right.
on Joan's season, who I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
think you're
that
a floater.
classic floater.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, do you see what I mean now when I said in our sound off episode that I think Pascal could be top 2?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I feel like their connection really like crept up on me because for so long I didn't really see what they had in common or like where they found common ground. But it was interesting to hear from Joan's perspective of her saying how much he reminded her of her late husband for the
Mhm.
reasons that she said, like wanting to like live life to the fullest and like wanting to take those fancy trips and doing those big things to like be like an experienced guy. And so I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I didn't initially like clock that as being something that they would be like compatible on.
But with Guy in comparison, it's like, yeah, he has really strong feelings for me. I hope today I can catch up. And you know how I feel about that like
Mhm.
language. Like it shouldn't be something that like in a few hours of hanging out with him, you're magically in love with him and he is
Yeah.
all in. Do you believe he's authentic when he says that he's all in with her? Because I'm not sure.
I'm
Something
not sure
tells me he
either.
knows what he's doing a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've always, since his one-on-one date, been skeptical of him. I can't tell. I can't tell if he's just someone who knows this show and knows this game and knows what he's supposed to say and is saying all the right things, or if he genuinely is in love with, well, not in love with, but like further along with Joan. You know what? Now that I'm kind of like thinking out loud, I'm going to say he's not genuine in his feelings because I think it's just so clear to us how much Joan doesn't really like him. It's like to the point where it's like awkward. And I can't
Mhm.
imagine him genuinely falling in love with someone who so obviously like doesn't
That's
have
such a good
equal
point.
feelings back, right?
Part of
You got to
falling
be
in love is because
giving
it's
some sort of,
yeah,
yeah, it's a mutual thing. And
right,
so
you're
that's
getting it
where it's
back.
just kind of like she's so not on his level at all that I'm like, how can you be so all in guy with someone who like is like literally making small talk with you on your one-on-one date? Like, how's the weather? Not that
It
she actually
really
said that, but I
is.
just feel like
No.
that's what they were like talking about the whole time.
I was saying it's giving Mark like, "Oh, finish your champagne." Like,
Yeah, yeah,
just, like,
yeah.
very, like, empty conversations. I said this to Dave last week with Hometowns, like, she seems so disinterested in every other guy other than Chalk, and I will say I
Mhm.
would put Pascal in the Chalk category, although he's no
Yeah.
longer, right? He went home, right? Like, f
Yeah.
officially, right? Did he
Yeah,
walk
yeah, yeah.
out? We didn't get a rose
I don't
ceremony.
know if we saw him walk out,
Yeah.
but I think it's implied that he's going.
Right. Yeah, he's gone, but, like, I meant, like, we didn't get the official rose
Yeah.
ceremony. Yeah, I that's a really good point. Like, how can you be and he's all in. Like, it's
Right.
obvious why Chalk is all in because Joan's giving him so much back, and he's excited about this girl that who really likes him, and,
Mhm.
"What are you into, guy?" She's like,
Right.
"Yeah, I'm having fun. I'm having a great
Right,
day."
exactly.
It's, like, no emotion at all.
Yeah, so it's giving a little phony. It's
Mm.
giving, I just say and do all the right things on the show.
We get, like, a random cut to Chalk telling Jesse
Mhm.
he's in love with Joan, but he's only telling her he's crazy about her to, like, protect himself for now.
I like them together. I like they really are. Like he still kind of gives me a little bit of the ick and I'll get into it later with some of the things that he was saying. Well, cuz I was like, dude, whoa, like slow your roll. He was saying things like how the fantasy suite night would be the happiest night of his life. And it's like you haven't had happier days, sir. Like I'm so sorry for your life then. Like there's I don't know. What another one he said? Now that I said we were going to get into it later, but now that we're talking about it, he said Joan is the best thing that ever
Never
happened to
happened to
him.
him. I thought that was sweet.
But he's only known her for a
I
few
know.
weeks. Like that's just a really big statement to say about a woman that you've known for a couple weeks, in total probably 72 hours, not even, and you've only ever spoken with her like in front of a camera on a TV show.
Yeah.
Like
You've
that's
never been
crazy.
unmiked outside of this episode. You've only been mic'd
Right.
in
But
front of a
she's the
camera.
best thing that ever happened to him. Like, Chalk, respectfully, like you don't know Joan. You guys aren't gonna know each other until you're like out in the real world.
Yeah.
She's someone he met on a TV show. You don't think that's crazy?
I mean, this whole show's crazy. Yes, it did
Yeah.
cross my mind when he said, like, "This is the best thing that ever happened to me." I did start thinking, I'm like, is he comparing his relationship with Joan to, like, relationships he had when he was younger with women he actually knew, and he's actually saying that this one's higher on the ranking?
That's
Because
kind of
that's
sounding like
crazy.
when you say the best thing that ever happened to you,
Right, he didn't say 3rd
that's
best.
the best, right?
Yeah.
It's like right, and he had a loving relationship with that woman who had passed away. He also was married previously, and he said he got divorced from his wife, but like they had a good marriage for a while and they had kids together. Like he has had children, and that doesn't make the list of being one of the best things to
Shut
ever
up.
happen to him.
Shut
Like
up. Give him a
it's crazy.
break, you
That's
know,
a crazy
he's
thing to say about
he's
someone.
he's not literally saying, like, "Nothing else has ever good happened in my life except Joan."
Right, but he's
Obviously
saying Joan is the best.
right,
The
you're
best. That's crazy.
wait, speaking of Chalk's, like, past, you do
Uh-huh.
know that, his ex-wife isn't Crystal, right?
Yes,
That was
someone
something
commented somewhere. Yeah. Thanks for
yeah.
letting us know,
I know.
guys.
Well, in the hometown episode, Crystal was there, and Dave and I were covering it, and he was talking, and I thought in my head, like, I really wanted to say it for you guys to let you guys know, like, I know who
Yeah.
Crystal is now. Like, I understand it's not Chalk's ex-wife, but I got sidetracked with Dave, and I didn't get to say it. But she was actually at his hometown, and I was like, celebrity
Oh my
sighting,
god.
Crystal.
Wait, and Crystal is who exactly?
Chalk's mom's caregiver, her
Got
former
it.
caregiver. Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
So yeah, he said like, "I'm gonna have to call Crystal." We're like, "Oh man, he's calling his ex-wife."
But then why would he have said to Joan at the time,
I know you'd
like,
be okay with
"I
it.
know you'd be okay with it"?
Maybe just in the whole thing. Like, I know you'd be okay with me doing what I need to do and having to leave
Yeah,
this fake
maybe.
process.
Still a little weird, but whatever.
When Chalk was sitting down with Jesse, he gives the classic line, "If she was not able to reciprocate the feelings for you, how would you feel?" Like, how do you think he would feel, Jesse? And
Right.
way to get that soundbite in because you need it for a future trailer. Like, that's the
Mhm.
only reason why he's asking, because out of all people, Joan is reciprocating him. Total reciprocation here between Joan and Chalk. So for him to ask Chalk that out of all people, that was a soundbite,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, 100%.
So it wouldn't be a fantasy suite episode if we didn't tell you about our favorite sex toy company, Dame Products.
Yes, guys, Dame has made it their mission to help you explore and enjoy your pleasure because they like to think of that as self care. And we could all use a little bit more self care in our lives.
Amen. Dame was created by women who know that sometimes you need a little bit more than a good night's sleep to feel rejuvenated, if you know what I mean. And you're going to want to go to dame.com and see these toys that they have to offer because, guys, they are phenomenal. Take Calm, for example. It's this powerful external vibrator that's perfect for solo sessions or a little added buzz with a partner. And if you're looking for something a little bit more subtle, there's Fin. It's a tiny finger vibrator that adds a little twist to the touch you already know and love.
And so, yeah, Dame is all about breaking the stigma around sexual wellness, and they make it super easy to find products that fit your needs to have a healthier relationship with pleasure. So, if you guys are ready to take your self care routine to the next level, you can check out dame.com and use code She's All Batch 30 for 30% off. That's amazing. Trust me, guys, it is time for some well deserved me time.
So, Chalk State, where you got the ick.
I mean, I do think like seeing the conversations with Chalk compared to the conversations with Guy, it really is night and day.
I didn't think that I would see this like fall from grace with Guy. Like he was
Yeah, no
like
one
think about
expected
him like
that.
cutting lemons or whatever he was doing in the kitchen with Joan.
Mhm.
Like I just thought she was going to be so strong with him the whole time and like
Well, right, but that's what I was gonna say. Like, is it that she's not into Guy, or is that she's just so into
into Chalk.
Chalk that like it's just
Yeah,
like if Chalk wasn't there, maybe her and Guy would be like more connected. But it just seems
right.
like since day one, she's been all in on Chalk. It's like pretty
Mm.
obvious. He hasn't said he loves her to her yet, right? He's only said falling. But then he
No,
said things in passing,
he did
like,
say
"Oh,
things
and
in
I would love
passing.
like something, something. I wrote down something. It made me really love you more." And it's like,
No, I
so
picked
you
up on that
agree.
too.
You
I
love
so you
her.
love me. I totally picked up on that as well. And did you notice her face lit up every time he said something like that? Like
Yeah.
she caught it too. Like, wait, you just said love, like you love me, but he didn't like flat out say it. But she's
Mhm.
definitely excited about that potential.
Wait, so he has not said though to her he
No,
loves her. He just that he's falling in love.
not like I love you, unless I
Okay.
blinked. I don't think I did though.
Unless we blinked. Right.
When they went to the fantasy suite, which oh, like so Joan tells the guys this episode that she's not going to be physical with anyone until she, chooses her final guy, which love, but they still get like all their alone time in the fantasy suite. Did you notice like how eager she was for the camera people to leave during Chuck's fantasy suite versus
Oh, no, I
Guy?
didn't.
She said, okay, they can leave now. And then Chuck closes the door. That's the only one that we saw. Like, I mean, I think from my perspective, that is the only one we saw where like the camera people leave and you see them like close the door because like,
Yeah.
get out.
I thought it was interesting too that like we didn't see any morning after shots. Obviously, like I know because Joan was not planning to sleep with anyone, but like, did she not sleep over at all? Like, was it very much like a we can talk to the wee hours of the night and then I'm gonna go sleep in a separate place? Or what is it that like they would maybe like cuddle and sleep in the same bed, but
I'm
like
not sure. Didn't Chalk say something about a couch?
yeah. And
What did he
I think
say?
I saw it well, just that like they were on the couch talking the whole time. Like didn't mention
Oh.
anything of a
Oh,
bed.
I was like, did you sleep on the couch? I was like, I wasn't sure if I
Oh.
missed. Yeah.
I will say though, I think I saw in some interview that Joan did at some point, like on The View or Good Morning America or something, she was talking about fantasy suites and she did say, I think, that she didn't even want a bed in her fantasy
Yeah.
suites because she didn't even like want that to be like on the table at all or give that message. So maybe that was the case that she just stays till she like is like, all right, let's
I'm
literally go to
tired.
sleep now. And then she goes back to like her
Maybe.
own hotel. I think
Yeah.
maybe that's why we didn't see the morning afters, but I thought that was kind of weird.
After Guy's fantasy suite, I noted that he just did like a confessional and he's like, it was great.
Mhm.
I'm in love. I just love her. It was blissful. And I was like, where's Joan's take? Like, we didn't hear Joan's take after Guy's. And then with Chalk, he got like confessionals with a producer. Like we heard a producer say, and what did you guys do? And he's like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm a gentleman. Like, I don't, that's up to Joan to tell if she wants. But like, we didn't get that with the other guys, which I thought was another obvious takeaway.
Yeah, but I also was kind of like, "Chalk, if nothing happened, why are you saying that?"
Because obviously they did some like over the pants
You think?
things. Yes. They
Or
they
do
got
you
out
think
their
it's a
Dame vibrators and went to town. Use coupon code She's All Batch 30.
Do you think there's a chance though that maybe something happened, but they're just lying? Because
No,
didn't that happen with Emily Maynard? How do we know that? We know that somehow.
we know that. Well, I mean, I think we're not saying
We
it
just
is
know it.
fact. Well, we're not
Yeah,
saying
and
it is a
the
fact.
rumor is with Emily
It's
Maynard that she
hearsay.
said she wasn't going to sleep with
Well,
anyone.
that part is true. The thing we do know is that she did say on camera she wasn't going to have like overnight dates, but she gave them
Mhm.
all keys to like hang out, which could just like Joan. And
Yeah.
then it like cuts off. And like the rumor, I think, I don't know how we know this, but the rumor is that like that was like a deal with production. And then she did actually have overnights with everyone. In this case, I don't think that they're lying. I think that she was being truthful, that she really was only gonna spend time with people and not do anything physical. But I think there was definitely they're not just sitting next to each other on the couch, like awkwardly hanging out. Like they're definitely hooking up.
You think? Like a
Okay, which
little
is it?
MO?
Obviously. What do you mean?
I don't know, but do you think
Obviously,
she's MOing with anyone else besides Chuck?
MOing, make out?
Yeah.
Yes. Why? Well, probably not Guy, but why wouldn't she? Why
Yeah, 'cause
is
she hates him.
why is MOing like taboo? They literally MO in front of us.
Her and Chalk do, yeah.
No, Jackie, there was totally like an over the pants thing going on.
Right.
Maybe
Okay,
even
well,
maybe even more. Who's to say? We'll never know. There's no way to tell.
yeah, I thought his response was like a little weird to that question.
What? That he's a gentleman and he doesn't kiss and
Mhm.
tell?
Or no, just that like I feel like he was implying like him saying that, I feel like makes it almost imply that maybe something did happen as opposed to just being like, "Yeah, we talked all night. It was great." But he's like, "Oh, a gentleman ever." It's blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, I wasn't even thinking that, Chalk, because Joan said that she wasn't going to
Yeah.
do any of that. But now that you're being weird about it, now I'm like, okay, well, what did we not know? He could have
Yeah.
just said, oh, so whatever. It doesn't matter though.
That's why you got the ick because he really likes her.
No, I got the ick because of the big statements he was saying. Like
Right.
she was the best thing that ever happened to him.
He said, even better than my firstborn.
Right. Exactly. That's essentially what he was saying. So happiest night, this fantasy suite was going to be the happiest night of his life.
That's a very
Him sitting
unfulfilling
on the
life.
couch doing some over the pants stuff with Joan.
I know. I mean, he hasn't. Maybe this is the best. Crystal
Maybe
probably
he's had a
didn't give
really
him
hard, sad
over the
life. Yeah.
pants love in their marriage. him and Crystal when they were together.
Right.
And now he gets it with Joan. So he's happy. He's the happiest he's ever been.
Happier than when he went to the happiest place on earth, Disneyland?
Right. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so Jesse chats with Pascal.
Yeah. Do you know Jesse didn't chat with Guy? Guy, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Because no one cares about Guy's
like,
relationship
why?
with Joan because it's irrelevant. He's filler.
Oh my God.
He's floater filler.
It's crazy that Pascal became like the obvious second person, but who doesn't get second. You know, Guy's reminding me of Justin Glaze, who like just found himself in the top 2 because other people left. That's what I think Guy is now. Poor guy. Poor guy.
Poor guy. But I do think she genuinely at first very attracted to him. But I just think as time has gone on.
Right. You're not shocked.
It's just meh.
Yeah. So Jesse talks with Pascal. We get like such a more in-depth side of Pascal. And this is where I really like enjoyed the episode a little bit more. We saw a lot more. He calls out how like he's, you know, people see him as fancy cars, luxury clothes, and all these like extravagant trips, but like he's actually so much more than that. He brings up his difficult childhood, which he has in the past. And it was all the Tahitian bonding ceremony that kind of made him realize. So that's what made him realize when you were asking earlier, like, did he just realize he had an ex-girlfriend who broke his heart? I think it was the ceremony that really set him off like, whoa, like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, but he was talking with Jesse before the
Oh,
ceremony.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I did like watching that ceremony thing, and I thought it was actually really cute to like hear him speak French with the locals and be like a little bit more in his element. I thought that was like nice to see that side of him. But the whole time I'm just kind of like, Pascal, what did you think we were doing here? You just remember, like, I know it came up in the hometown tape, but I'm like, you just remembered you were dating someone and broke up with them and you're not over them. You just learned that.
That would actually bother me. Like if I were the Bachelorette and the guy I was really like falling for said that is talking about his heartbreak like it's current. Like that's the thing. Like Pascal said, like, you know, I understand she's always going to have love for John. And like he compared it to his own situation and it's like it's not the same though. Like her husband passed away. The girl that you almost got engaged to, you could potentially get back together with. Like they're different
also,
kinds
like
of
Joan was with her
situations.
husband for like 30 plus years versus you said you dated this woman for like a year and a half. Like respectfully, that's not the same.
But wouldn't that be a little bit of a red flag? Like maybe not red flag, but like it would make me not feel as good if like the guy I was really like excited to be liking was telling me about this girl who totally broke his heart only a year ago. That's very fresh.
Well, it just shows he's clearly not ready to like move on and like truly dive in and start a life with someone because he's still kind of hung up on that and like healing. It takes time to kind of grow out of a heartbreak. And so he's just clearly not ready. But it's like he was not ready 6 weeks ago too. And that's where that's why I'm confused, where it's like, Pascal, were you just trying to like get as far as possible? But now that it like shit's getting real and he has feelings and she has feelings, now he's like, okay, gotta go. Because I think a lot of people go into this thinking like they wouldn't even actually like the lead or even make it that far. I don't get how he woke up today and was like, oh, my ex-girlfriend. No.
I think out of all people, like Pascal is so not doing this for ulterior motives. I really don't think so. I think he's someone that's just like, whoa, this is getting way too serious. And this bonding ceremony reminded me that I had an ex-girlfriend that broke my heart and I'm not over it as much as I thought I was. He did say that like he was heartbroken and then his daughter signed him up. And it to me felt like it's like, Dad, come on, you need to get back out there. I'm going to go sign you up for something. And it wasn't him saying, I'm ready. I want to go out and find someone. And which is clearly what happened here because you're not ready.
I just mean, though, he was not ready a few weeks ago and he could have eliminated sooner so that Joan could have a more solid connection in the top here.
Sure. I don't think he was doing it on purpose, though, is my point.
Fair. Yeah.
He said, I know what love is and I care about you as a friend, but I'm not in love. And Joan said, I wish you were ready, but if you're not, you're not. I think she handled it really well, but you can tell she was really hurt. I kind of appreciate the way he broke up with her because he didn't like sugarcoat it. I kind of wish Joan broke up with Mark the way Pascal broke up with Joan. Why don't make up other reasons. Like, he's like, "I'm not in love with you. I don't feel it. I don't think we can get there." Like,
Mhm.
straightforward, being honest. Like, I still feel like the excuse Joan gave Mark was really weird and random. Just,
Yeah.
you're not into him. No
Right,
connection.
and
Like,
that's
whatever.
fine, and that's fair. I did think it was weird though that, like, Joan took it very well and very much was like, she was very obviously hurt, but she was like, "You look, if you're not ready, you're not ready. Like, okay, I accept that." And he was like, basically saying like, "I know she's not okay," and Joan's like, "I'll be okay," which like is a fact. She will be. Every guys, spoiler alert, whenever you get dumped, like you will be okay eventually. Like everyone will
Mhm.
get over it. It's fine. And that's what Joan was saying. She was like, "No, I know. Like this hurts now, but like I will move on. Like worse things have happened. Like I'll be okay." And he kept saying like, "I know she's not okay." And it's like, Pascal, that's like a little, I don't know, like get over yourself a little
Yeah.
bit.
Again, I'm gonna defend Pascal. I really just feel like he was saying in the moment, she's being strong and I know she's not okay. I don't think he's saying like she's not okay because I'm so amazing and I'm leaving her.
I don't know. I feel like that's more what he was saying. Or just that, like, oh, yeah, she's not okay. She's not going to get over this. It's like, yeah, she will. She's fine.
Yeah.
But maybe
I
that's
don't
how he thinks because he's still not over his ex.
right. He's
And
like, how
so
could she
he thinks
possibly
like
be over
everyone.
this? You know what I'm not buying? The previews at the end of the episode where she's like, you know, I feel like a failure. What I'm gonna end up alone. And it's like,
No,
Joan,
you're not. Chalk's right there.
just because Pascal said that he's in love with his ex-girlfriend does not mean
Yeah.
you're gonna end up alone. At the very least, even if like something crazy happens and Chalk leaves, Guy really likes you. Keep him
So
around.
true. If you're so worried about being
Ending up
alone,
alone,
no
just
need to worry.
you have 2 guys that very, very much really like you.
Yeah.
I feel like ABC is doing that though to make
Oh, yeah.
because now it's so obvious. Chalk versus Guy. Uh,
Snooze fest.
But
What do
now
you think they're gonna give us in the finale to at least give us, like, a little bit of drama? Because
she's
they
gonna
have to
say I'm
make
gonna
it
end up
seem
alone.
like Guy's close in the race here.
I wish Pascal would come back. Like, I have so many ideas of how we
Mm,
can make it a little more spicy. They're not gonna take any of
yeah.
my ideas. I don't know. I think they're gonna pull the "I'm gonna end up alone" thing.
Mhm,
Well,
mhm,
that's all they
mhm.
have.
And they're gonna make it 3 hours.
Oh my
Yay.
I really,
I
really
don't know
hope
for a
not.
fact, I'm just guessing because that's what they
Yeah.
do.
But we did find out the mental all is next week, so I'm
Yes.
excited for that. But in the preview, we saw, like, "Oh, your favorites are back." I have to say that every single season. But we saw, like,
Mhm.
obviously Pascal gets a hot seat, but Jonathan did too, which I'm like, "Guys,
Mm.
they're setting him up."
They have a lot of options for Golden Batch, I think. I
Because,
don't
well,
think Mark
why
has it so in the bag like we thought.
well, he doesn't not because he's with Deb. The Deb of it all is
I
gonna
know, but he
really
could break
throw
up
a
with her.
wrench.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm bringing up the Jonathan hot seat because, like, we all love Jonathan. He was great.
Mhm.
Does his story with Joan warrant like, how's it going now? Unless you want him to sit in the hot seat for a reason, you know?
Agreed. I think they want him to sit there for a reason. In the same way they kind of did like with Jen and some of Joey's other girls to
Yeah,
kind of like, Jen and Joey didn't have as much of a strong
true.
connection and
Yeah.
she went home rather early, but they put her in the hot seat so we could like get to know their story a little bit more. So I think they're
Yeah.
doing the same thing with Jonathan. I guess we'll see. I think the only person who really deserves a hot seat with Joan as far as like the storyline is Pascal. That's
Yeah.
quite frankly like the only connection that seemed legitimate other than Chalk.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I mean, men tell all, women tell all. Every season, it's my favorite.
Mhm.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Ooh, you know what they should do if they're smart, but they're not, so they're not
Mm.
gonna do this, is for the men tell all when all the guys are there, bring a bunch of the golden women there to be in the audience, but just generally plant some seeds and see how the audience, us, responds to the golden ladies and the golden men having a chance to kind of like interact a little bit.
I don't understand. They're in the audience and the guys are on stage. How are they
Mhm.
interacting?
Just in general, like Jesse will be like, "Oh, Susan, what did you think of blah 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 blah?" And like Susan
Oh,
says her little thing, and then
okay.
Jack like giggles, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, there was
Susan
something
and
there
Jack.
between Susan and Jack. Oh my god, there should be a golden paradise." Like I don't know. I just think like planting the seeds of getting the audience thinking like, "Oh, who would be paired up well with who? Like who do we want to see together?" Just to see if it's something that's like resonating.
Yeah.
This
No,
is a focus group. It's a test.
I would be here for it. I don't think they're gonna do that.
No, they're not. Of course they're not.
But there's no way to tell. That's my new
There's
favorite
no way
thing.
to
There's
know.
no way to know. We're never gonna find out.
Just like, what was the thing we said in the beginning? There was no way to know.
We say it a lot. I don't know.
I know. Well, because there's a lot of things there's just no way to know.
There's no way to know.
Oh, why they were on the cruise.
Oh, yeah, there's no way to know. Well, because it's an ABC conglomerate. They own the cruise ship.
Right. Disney, ABC, Air Tahiti, Nancy. All in the same company, guys. Crazy.
Yeah. And I will say that seeing the guys in the Men Tell All preview, they are now officially celebrities. I love this point in the season. We're now looking back. I'm like, oh my God, Jack. Oh my God. Like Kim with your little song and Pascal sitting in the hot seat. I'm like, you were so freaking cute. And now they are officially on like Golden Bachelor lady level. They're like Susan Cathy level, like recognizable. Now you appreciate them. And I'm excited. So, all right. Well, until then.
Until next time, friends. Also, so many of you, this will come out, I guess, tomorrow for Halloween, but so many of you guys have been DMing me Halloween costume ideas, and I really appreciate it. Like, very nice. I'm probably going to do none of them, but we'll see.
No, well, what are you doing?
The party I'm going to is cult classics is the theme. So I think I'm just going to do like an easy Audrey Hepburn and Breakfast at Tiffany's. Black dress, pearl necklace, sunglasses, hair and bun, done. Easy.
I don't quite think I know what a cult classic means in like a category term. Like I think cult classic, I think like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah,
like,
no, I would say Breakfast at Tiffany's is not even necessarily like truly a cult classic.
That's what was throwing me off.
Still like an iconic
right. So what is it? What is the category of cult classic? Like cult classic, like people that will shout out the lines at the movie, like Rocky Horror. Like, is there?
Yeah, or just like a movie that's been incredibly popular that maybe wasn't initially like a big blockbuster success. Like my friends being Cher from Clueless, and Clueless is considered a cult classic for some reason, which I don't really know why. Because I would have thought that was initially very successful, but I guess over the years, like people have like more of like a dedicated like nostalgia and fandom to it of Clueless. Yeah. Like people love Clueless. And I guess you could say the same about Breakfast at Tiffany's. I don't know.
Why don't they just change?
It's just an easy costume. Well, I don't think I'm following the theme perfect, but
my issue is not with your costume. My issue is with this theme. I think they should just make the theme like iconic movie characters, because the cult classic thing's throwing me off, because I grew up in the Clueless era. It was everywhere. So if the definition of cult classic means it wasn't I don't really understand what the definition is. So change it to iconic.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like, I will give that feedback to them.
Thank you.
I think maybe though, not necessarily it's the exact definition of cult, but it gives more of like a vintagey, like old school vibe. If you say cult classics, I think people are going to pick movie characters from like more vintagey old school movies, and that's kind of a cute vibe. I don't know.
Cute. We'll share pictures. We'll get pictures, so then when we do our Bachelor Halloween ranking episode next week, we can put it in the episode.
Fun. And then I have to think of another costume for Saturday, but we have time on that.
Okay, keep us posted.
I will. Well, and you're being a skeleton with your whole family, a family of skeletons.
Yes.
Are you trick-or-treating? That's so fun to trick-or-treat with a child. Do you go like with a group, or like do you guys just go as like a little family, or like how does it work?
We're going to my sister's house tomorrow. She has a 1.5-year-old. So it's like her first like real Halloween. So we're going there. We're going to go trick or treat around her town.
Cute.
My husband ordered a skeleton costume, and now Amazon is saying it will arrive by 10 p.m. Halloween. And I'm like, oh my God, thanks, Amazon. So we're hoping that it'll come by like 1:00 tomorrow, so then he can wear it. But if not, it's going back to Amazon. All right. Well,
stressful. Wow.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Have a safe holiday. And we will see you next week with our Halloween ranking video.
Yeah. So fun.
Like and comment here. And if you want to listen, you can listen anywhere you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places.
Exactly.
All right. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Goodbye, bitches.